Here's a problem with Newton's law of cooling. A turkey is removed from the oven at 185 degrees. After 5 minutes, it has cooled to 170 degrees. Now the temperature of the room is 75 degrees. So how long before the turkey has cooled to 110 degrees? All right. So I don't know if I have room to do all this problem without erasing this, but let's see, where do we begin? See, the initial condition is 185 degrees. So the temperature at time 0 is 185. And I'm going to plug that in to our equation. And so T at 0 is C times e to the 0, so that'd be C, plus the temperature of the room is 75 degrees, and all this equals to 185. So the again, when we plug in 0 for T, this e to the k times 0 would be simply 1, and temperature of the room was given as 75 degrees. So it looks like C is equal to 110, and it's a pure coincidence that I put 110 there. I hadn't thought about that. It just worked out that way. So, and I don't know if that's going to make the problem any easier, but it might. But temperature at T will be 110 here, e to the kt plus 75. So let me do some erasing up here, and we'll finish out this problem. Here's our equation thus far. T of t equals to 110 e to the kt plus 75. Now, after 5 minutes, the temperature has cooled down to 170 degrees. So T at 5 is 170. Now let's plug that in there, and this will allow us to solve for K, which is sort of gives us our rate of cooling. So we need that second temperature to figure out how fast is this object cooling. So 170, well, T of 5 would be 110 e to the 5k, all right, 5k plus 75 is equal to 170 degrees. So let's subtract our 75. 10 e to the 5k is equal to 95, and then we'll divide by 110. So e to the 5k is 95 over 110, and we could reduce that to what, 19 over 22 if we want to reduce that fraction. Let's take the logarithm of both sides, and this will give us 5k is equal to natural log of 19 over 22. So k, which is our sort of our rate associated with the rate of cooling here, would be the natural log of 19 over 22 divided by 5. Now that's I believe that's going to be a negative number. So get out the calculator and plug her in. Natural log of 19 divided by 22 divided by 5 is negative. It's about negative 0.02932. Now, if you want to go to decimals, and it'd be okay to just keep writing this for k if you wanted to, but if you go to decimals, I would say go 4 significant places in order to preserve accuracy, and that will give you a pretty accurate answer in my experience with these types of problems. All right, well, now let's go ahead and plug it in up there. And so we have T of t, this is our function now, is 110 e to the negative 0.02932 times t plus 75. Now let's take a moment and look at that. What does that function look like? You know, as t goes to infinity, this term here will continue to shrink down to 0, which means that at infinity, the temperature of the turkey is going to be 75 degrees, same as the surrounding temperature. So this term here is an exponential decay. So the graph of this function is going to look like this. It came out of the oven at 185 degrees. After 5 minutes, it was at 170 degrees, and then eventually it cools down to 75 degrees. And so there's an asymptote here. There's sort of a gentle exponential decay in the temperature as it eventually cools down. So, all right. So if we deem 110 degrees a good eating temperature for that turkey, I have no idea what a good temperature would be. I usually don't wait that long to dive into the turkey. Let's see how long it takes. So our last question was how long before the temperature reaches 110 degrees. Okay, so let's solve that problem. So to figure out when the temperature reaches 110 degrees, I'm going to set this function equal to 110. And again, this was coincidence that C was 110. I made up these numbers and that's what happened. All right, so let's subtract 75 from both sides and divide by 110. So it gives us e to the negative 0.02932 t equals to, so it'll be 35 over 110. Try to make that 5 a little more legible here. There we go. And 35 over 110, if I simplify it, would be 7 over 22, looks like. So if we take the log of both sides, then we get, and solve for t, I'm going to get t equals to the natural log of 7 over 22. And then we'll divide by this coefficient up here, minus 0.02932. Now, in my calculator, I kept all the decimals of this. So I'm going to get the most accurate answer I can get because I just have this sitting in my calculator with all the decimal places. So natural log of 7 divided by 22, and then divide by that number gives me about 39.1 minutes. 39.1. So, takes about 39 minutes. Let me erase this and I'll write the answer up. So here we go, final answer. The turkey reaches 110 degrees in about 39.1 minutes. So, all right, we can figure out other things. For example, how warm is it after 20 minutes, for example. So, I think the mathematics of this is kind of easy compared to some of the things we do in this course. But anyway, it's still, I think, a great problem.